Hey everyone! So Golem has just released its second alpha reveal on testnet, and we're super excited about sharing this with you. And just because a few things have changed since the first alpha reveal, I'm going to do a bit of an updated tutorial video on getting yourself started with the new Golem alpha. To start out with, we need to go to handbook.golem.network, which is this website here. Then we can just click on looking for a quick start. From here, we need to check that we meet some of the prerequisites. So the prerequisites are OS X 10.14 or above, Ubuntu 18.04 or 20.04, or Windows. So we are on, or I am personally on, Ubuntu 18.04, which is what I'll be running through. And we also need to check that we have Python 3.6 or above installed. We can copy there and just paste that in our terminal. I have 3.6.9, so we're all good on that side. And Git version, so we also need to check that we have Git installed, which I do. And from here on in, so these are some of the steps that have changed since the first alpha. We've implemented easy installation, so it's just a helper script that installs Yagna for you. So we're just going to run this in our terminal here. Although if you're on Windows, you will still need to do the manual installation and follow this guide that's available for you. And we can see that we're already done, so that was very quick and easy. And now we can also confirm our Yagna version, and we will have the latest version here, which matches our documentation. And if you've ever run Yagna before, I've run Yagna before, so I should probably run this purge command, which purges old databases of Yagna, essentially. And after we've done that, we will go run Yagna, service, and run, which will start our daemon in this shell here. Once we've started that, we can actually see some of the marketplace communication starting already, which is our decentralized marketplace. This is part of the changes between Alpha 1 and Alpha 2. So Alpha 1 had a centralized marketplace, or temporary centralized marketplace that we ran ourselves, whereas now there's decentralized communication between the nodes and their marketplace communication. And we can switch to our other terminal. The next thing that we need to do will be generate our app key, which we will use as a requestor. So we go Yagna, app key, create requestor. So you can save this app key. I might just put it in the address bar to keep it handy, but you can always bring it back by going Yagna, app key, and list. So my screen's a little squished, but you can see here is the requestor. Here is our key, and this is actually our Ethereum address on the testnet. So we could even search this address up on Etherscan, pasting our address. And once we've run some tasks on the network, we will be able to see some of the transactions, and also the next step that we're going to do, which is initialize our requestor with some testnet tokens, which we will use to pay requesters and also pay for gas fees on the Ethereum Rinkeby testnet. So we'll go Yagna payment init-r, which will take a couple of minutes. And what it's doing here is requesting some testnet Rinkeby ETH, which we'll use again to pay gas, and also some NGNT, which is our testnet token that simulates the real token once we go on mainnet. Now we can see that's done. We can also check that it's done with Yagna payment status, which will show that we have 1000 NGNT. We'll be able to confirm this on Etherscan too. So we will see that there has been some testnet ETH, 0.01 testnet ETH, and then we've got some NGNT as well, 1000 NGNT, which matches what we see here. Now we can continue on in the parameters. So the next steps that we need to do is set up our environment. We can just copy these commands here to set up. The first one will set up our environment, and the next command will activate our environment. And if you're on Windows, the steps are a little bit different, so you will be following these steps instead. But since I'm on Ubuntu, I can just continue on from here. Now we'll install the dependencies. Again, we can just copy these commands. And the last one, which is installing Yapapi. From here on in, we need to git clone the Yapapi repository from GitHub, which we'll do with git clone. And after we've done that, we need to change into that directory and check out the correct branch. So for this tutorial, the branch will be B0.3. It might change a little bit in the future, so just check the documentation to make sure that you're checking out the correct branch. Here we go. And following on, so this is where we'll need that app key that we saved at the start, just for the purposes of demonstration. Maybe I'll just do Yagna app key list. So I'll get my app key instead of taking it from my address bar where I saved it. And then I'll export that. Go, so export, copy my key. Which will make it so we'll be able to communicate with our daemon. And from here on in, we'll run the Blender example again, similar to what we did in the first alpha reveal tutorial. So we'll change into the examples folder, and some of the things that have changed since the first alpha is now we'll be defining which subnet we're using. So we'll be using the devnet alpha 2 subnet to run these tasks. There we go, so we can see our Yapapi version 0.3.0. We can see the subnet, and now we are sending out proposals for this task, which will communicate with the providers on the network, and we're the requester, and we should be able to see some of this communication in our daemon. So this is just some of the information that's going and being communicated between the different nodes on the network. And we can already see that we've had one of our tasks computed. There's another one. And if you ran through the first tutorial, you might be able to see that some of the information coming through is a bit clearer compared to the first alpha. And the output that we're expecting is some .png files that will look similar to this rendered frame here. But once that's done, you can also follow on, so you can see a more in-depth look in this example and how the requester agent works. Then you can also follow on to how to convert a Docker image into a Golem image that we'll be able to use as a requester. And we can see actually that our task has now been complete. So we've paid a total of 0.35 NGNT, which we should be able to see reflected on Etherscan. So I've just moved back to my address on Etherscan. And there we go. So we can see 2 payments that have gone up that add up to this amount of NGNT. And something new that we've added since the last documentation is another guide, which is the create your own application on Golem. So if you click here, there's also more examples that you can run through. So we've created what is a Hashcat example. Hashcat is a password recovery tool that you can use running on the Golem network to recover passwords that you might have forgotten. So if you follow some of these steps, you can look at the explainer, You can also look at some of the tutorial steps that we've created and follow through yourself. So on this page, it runs through some tutorial steps, which also includes creating your own Golem image along the way, which we already had provided to us in the rendering example that we just ran. But here you will be going through it, making it yourself. So maybe it's a little bit more clear on some of the things that you can do yourself. And we'll also be having some bounty programs where you can build things yourself and get compensated or get rewarded for the time and effort that you build on Golem Network. And this is everything we have for you today. It was more or less just an updated video of the previous tutorial. And if you have any issues, or if you're interested to learn more about the Golem Network, then please don't hesitate to join chat.golem.network, which is our Discord server, and there'll be someone to help you, or there'll be people in the team to help you out with anything new Golem related. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.